is up, guys? Welcome back to Between the Pylons. I'm John Camacho. Thank you so much for watching. And today I am doing a draft review on the Cleveland Browns. And let's get started, guys. First of all, I do like to go into every single draft looking at what was the plan going in. And for the Browns, it was very clear. They needed to add help on their defense. I feel like they focused defense heavily. Their defense was okay last year. I didn't think it was absolutely terrible, but it definitely wasn't among the top half of defenses in the league, and that definitely showed. And as far as things that were important for the Browns, it was offensive line and defense. So I think they came to this draft with that plan, and they definitely did just that. As far as did they take an offensive lineman in the first 4 rounds, you cannot name a bad team with a good offensive lineman. So I always look at that, and they did. They took Jared Wills with the 10th pick overall, so you can't beat that. They absolutely checked that box off for sure. And then the last thing is, did they get a piece of the strength of the class? And for this class, it was wide receiver, right? So did they get some wide receiver at some point? And they did. They got Donovan Peoples-Jones in the 6th round, which I thought was an insane value for them. Donovan Peoples-Jones was a top 10 wide receiver for me, so I was actually really excited about that pick for the Browns. Something that I would not have expected in a million years for him to fall that far. Must have been off the field issues or injuries or something that I wasn't privy to. That's the only reason I can possibly imagine him falling that far. So as far as the actual picks, let's get started there. With the 10th pick in the first round, they do take Jedrick Wills, as I said, out of Alabama, offensive tackle, and I think this is a guy who had probably had the highest upside for all the tackles. I mean, just a plug-and-play player out of Alabama, so you know he's smart, you know he's going to be groomed for the position. I think it was a great pick. They pretty much had to go offensive lineman here at 10. I think that was the most obvious pick. There really wasn't anywhere else that they were going to go. And in the second round, they do trade down 3 spots with the Colts and take Grant Delpit out of LSU. And this is one of those picks where I feel like it's a really boom or bust pick. And if you would have asked directly after the 2019 season, a lot of people would have said that Grant Delpit is a surefire top 10, top 15 pick at the latest, right? That's how good his 2018 season was. And then he comes in 2019 and is on a team that has a ton of NFL talent all over the field. They end up winning the national championship. And I'll be honest, guys, he just didn't look like he cared. He didn't look like he was interested in tackling. And if you're a safety, your job is to be the last line of protection. You are the safety to make the play safe. So you got to be able to tackle in the open field. You got to be able to protect when everything else goes wrong. You're the guy that protects the play. So a little bit surprising there. I don't really understand what happened as far as, what I had seen. And I didn't watch a lot in 2018 because I usually only focus on the guys that are coming out. But I definitely was aware of Grant Delpit and his upside and the fact that he was expected to be a very high pick. And this year, it was just very disappointing. I'm glad he didn't go in the first round because I think I would hate this pick a lot more if he went in the first round because, like I said, it is a big gamble, a big risk on it. And if you're going to get the good Grant Delpit or the bad Grant Delpit, and you just never know, things like that. But with that being said, in the second round, number 44, I don't blame the Browns at all taking the upside there because the upside is immense for sure. And with their third round pick, number 88 overall, I think the Browns got a steal here with the Jordan Elliott, defensive tackle out of Missouri. This is a guy whose numbers aren't great, right? But to me, he was double teamed a lot in college. I did feel like he is explosive and powerful at the point of attack. I would expect him to come in right away and play opposite Sheldon Richardson. And for me, I mean, you can't ask anything more of a third round pick to come in and be a starter on day one. But that's what I would expect out of him. I really liked what I saw out of this guy. I think maybe I was a little bit higher than the rest of the NFL was. I know when I originally watched him, I don't believe he was being talked about in the third round range. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a steal. I think the Browns got a really good player in the third round here with Jordan Elliott. And just 9 picks later, with the 97th overall pick in the third round, the Browns do pretty much the opposite of the Jordan Elliott pick for me. I don't get this pick. They took Jacob Phillips, linebacker out of LSU, And I'll be honest with you guys, I actually went to watch him in the pre-draft process, and I was at a point where I was really behind, and I was just trying to catch up on all the guys that I knew were going to go in the first couple rounds. I wanted to know every name coming off the board between round 1 and round 4-ish. I wanted that to be kind of the cutoff point. So that was my goal when watching these players, and I didn't achieve that goal. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But with Jacob Phillips, I did watch a little bit of this film. I watched about a half a game, and that was all I needed to know that he wasn't going to be a starter year 1 in the NFL. I just don't believe that. I don't see that at all. Yes, the measurables are good, I guess. That's not something that I even got to in my my study. I didn't get to his measurables, so maybe this was just a measurable and upside pick, and I'm just I'm too blind to see that. But to me, I saw a guy who just wasn't explosive enough for the next level, who got lost far too many times in the trash, is what I like to say. Very peculiar pick to me, but I do see the upside. I understand what they were going for. I get all that, but it was a very surprising pick, to say the least, for me. And I hope I'm wrong. Like I said, I always hope I'm wrong when I say things like that. But I did not value him anywhere close to the third round. So with all that being said, let's move on over to the draft day trades, and there were a couple for the Browns here. The first trade that they made, I actually already talked about it a little bit. They traded down with the Colts. The Colts moved up about 3 picks to draft Jonathan Taylor, which means the Browns moved down 3 picks to take Grant Delpit and a 5th-round pick who ended up turning into a center, Nick Harris, that they drafted. I love the value there. You get an extra player to move down 3 spots, and it was just one of those things where they were able to take advantage of a situation where the Colts wanted to move up to ensure they got their guy. I think that was a great decision for both sides, and the Browns were able to add a little bit extra value to their draft. But here in the 3rd round is where I think the Browns had a stroke of genius, right? So the Browns made a trade with the Saints, and the Saints did a very similar trade last year with the Dolphins that I absolutely loved, and I actually talked about a little bit in the Dolphins video if you're interested in that at all. But the Saints traded up in the 3rd round, so they swapped 3rd-round picks. They moved up about 14 spots from number 88 to 74, and they gave up a 3rd-round pick in next year's class. So what pretty much happened was the Browns traded a 7th-round pick for a 3rd-round pick next year and go down 14 spots in the 3rd round. That is a mega deal. I would take that trade even if I had my locked and loaded 3rd pick guy at that selection ready to go. It wouldn't matter to me. And maybe the Browns did. Zach Bond was there. The Saints traded up and made that deal to get Zach Bond out of Wisconsin. And I actually don't blame the Saints because I really liked Zach Bond there. I thought that was incredible value for Zach Bond at 74 overall. But man, is that a deal for the Browns. They get an extra 3rd-round pick essentially for free next year. I mean, that's what they get. They didn't lose anything here. They lost a 7th-round pick, which means nothing. And were able to get a 3rd-round pick next year and still retain a 3rd-round pick this year as well. And they got a guy that I actually really liked in Jordan Elliott. So that was just a win-win-win for the Browns to me there. I loved that move. But that was just an awesome move for the Browns, and that was my favorite move that they made in this draft. My least favorite move was the Jacob Phillips draft pick. I just did not see the value there with him in the 3rd round, which is okay. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully he goes on to have an awesome career, and that's perfectly fine. I just personally didn't see the value there. And as far as the most surprising pick to me, it was being able to get Donovan Peoples-Jones in the 6th round. And I don't usually like to focus on 6th-round picks in these videos because they're not guys that are expected to be starters, especially for a position group that the Browns don't necessarily need. They have wide receivers. They're set at wide receiver. So getting Donovan Peoples-Jones, whatever the issue was off the field, which I did hear that there was some kind of off the field issue. I'm not exactly sure what it was. And then I have to assume injury had to have something to do with it. There has to be something more than just every NFL team is blind and didn't see the talent that Donovan Peoples-Jones is, because there's obvious talent there. There's no way you can convince me of otherwise. It's just obvious. But anyway, the fact that they were able to land him in the 6th round is awesome, and it, just speaks to the depth of this class, I suppose, with the fact that teams consistently decided if they were going to take a receiver, they were gonna pass on DPJ and go other directions. So for me, this draft as a whole was a big success. I'm going to give it an A- because of certain gambles that they made. I'm not going to give it a true A. I almost did, but I decided that the Grant Delpit pick is a little bit of a gamble. I didn't love the Jacob Phillips pick, like I said, but other than that, I thought they had a great draft. I thought they made a lot of really good moves and really manipulated the draft in a really good way. But all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to this channel for more NFL football content. I'm gonna have a lot more draft review videos coming out, so if you are waiting for your team, that is coming. I'm also gonna have a lot more just content coming out on this channel. I am not slowing down. I am not stopping. So please subscribe to the channel for a lot more stuff, and leave a comment below. Let me know if there's anything that you thought about this Browns draft class that I didn't mention. Let me know what your thoughts were. Tell me why I'm completely wrong about anything that I didn't like about this class, or anything that I maybe did. Let me know what you guys thought, guys. Peace out.